All right, in Algebra 1, Section 1.6, we're dealing with solving for a variable. So basically, we're not going to solve for one solution. We're going to be solving for a specific letter. So we're not getting rid of anything. We're just isolating it. So let's look at number 1. Number 1 has a lot of letters in it, and we're not trying to solve for just one letter. What I'm trying to do is isolate H. So basically do what we've been doing, but just bringing everything to the other side except H. I'm trying to move everything to the other side, leaving H by itself. I'm not going to be just ending up with a letter and a number here. But we're using all the rules that you used before. So first, let's get rid of what is the furthest, and the furthest from H is 1/2. Okay? And how I get rid of 1/2, I need to multiply by its opposite, which is 2/1. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Now, this cancels out with this, and this cancels out with this, leaving me with just BH, okay? And 2/1 is the same thing as saying 2A. Now, B is a letter, yes, but how is it being attached to H? Well, in this case, it's being attached by multiplication. So in order for me to get rid of it, I have to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by B. So I can't simplify anymore, but these cancel out. I end up with 2A over B equals H. Okay? Okay. So the next one is a little bit more tricky, but it's the same concept. I want to isolate E. In this, it's the same thing. I have to start from the furthest. Well, the furthest from E is my divided by M. Okay? In fact, I can't do anything unless I get rid of that M. So, since it's being divided by M, in order to get rid of it, I have to do the opposite, which is multiply by M. So I'm multiplying by M. This cancels out. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I also have to multiply this by M. I end up with MS equals W minus 10E. Right? So, again, I have to start from furthest. Well, the furthest is positive W, so I have to do the opposite. This negative is not attached to the W. Okay? It's attached to the 10E. Please understand that. So in order to get rid of positive W, I have to minus W, and what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So this cancels out. I end up with MS minus W equals 10E. Okay? Hopefully I didn't lose you. So again, I subtracted W from both sides, but because this has no W, it's not like terms. So it's its own term. So MS minus W. Because they're not actual numbers, so I can't yet combine them. I'm just doing my best. I'm just moving everything to one side again and just trying to isolate the letter they're asking, which is E. Okay? And finally, the last thing attached, sorry, I forgot this negative, because that negative is attached to the 10, is I'm going to divide by negative 10. This cancels out, leaving me with just E. And this would be what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Because I can't combine anymore, because they're all only letters, my answer will be M, capital S, minus W over negative 10. And this is my answer. Right? So, I'm going to do the same thing here. Even though this has some numbers, doesn't mean that I'm going to be solving. I'm just, again, isolating for the letter. So when they're asking you to solve, it's basically make sure that that letter is by itself. So in this case, I'm focusing on the side with the X, and it's attached to a positive Y. The opposite, which would be a negative Y, I'm going to subtract Y. I end up with, this cancels out, okay? X equals, and since 15 and minus Y can't be combined, I'm just going to end up with 15 minus Y. Alright? My last one is PQ equals X. I'm solving for Q, and it's being attached by P through multiplication. I need to get rid of P. So since it's being multiplied by P, I need to divide by P. So I'm going to divide by P, divide by P. I end up with this canceling out and just Q, bring down that equal sign, and X over P. So it might look kind of weird and not understanding, but we're using the same rules. It's just unlike if we had numbers, we can't really combine anything, so we kind of have to just, like this mess right here, just keep them in their own terms. So go ahead and pause this and write it down. Don't forget your vocabulary. Do page 51, numbers 3, 5, and 7. 51, numbers 3, 5, and 7. And I'll see you in class.